welcome to my channel, The Painting Course. Today we're going to get into the first video in a new series of videos that I'm working on, all about oil painting basics. And today we're going to be talking all about gradients and how to make those nice, luscious gradients on your canvases. And we can use these gradients for a lot of different things. You could paint like a single object up against a gradient. But what we're going to be using them for is, in the next lesson, we're going to be painting some big, nice, white, fluffy clouds on top of these blue gradients. So let's get into it and let's start painting. So we're just going to start off by grabbing some Pthalo Blue and plopping it down. And we're going to make a value scale first here on our palette, and then we're going to be painting that same value scale much larger on the canvas. First thing, you're going to want to add a little bit of red if you're using Pthalo Blue. If you're using Ultramarine Blue, you're not going to need to add the red to it. Now when we lighten it up, you're going to see this is way too blue. You've never seen a sky that blue. So we're going to keep adding red to it. It's going to take down the intensity of the color a little bit, make it feel more realistic. This might be a good color for a nighttime scene. But like I said, we're going to be painting some clouds on top of this. So we're going to want to have it a little bit lighter. I'm using a little bit of Galkyd medium, and you can just substitute that for linseed oil as well. And I just dab a little bit of that on my brush. And you got to use this stuff really sparingly. To give you an idea, I just barely touch my brush into it like that. And just that little bit on the brush, you can see it really changes the viscosity of the paint. So you want to be careful with just how much of that you put in. So when you look up at the sky, you'll notice as we get closer to the horizon, it gets lighter. So I need to keep going lighter here. We want to really lighten this up. You can see how powerful that Pthalo Blue is. Really infects everything. Plop down a little bit more white. So I can tell this blue is just way too blue. So I just plopped in a bunch of Cadmium Red Medium into it. That's going to give us more of this gray color. We're going to start working up from that. Just want some hints of that blue coming into it. That's better. Now we're going to use that color, and we're going to start from the top of our canvas. I'm using a crisscross motion here. I'm just going to paint that color on. You can see I've toned my canvas with just a little bit of gesso, and I dropped some ink into the gesso. That's a quick way to get a gray gesso, which is good for painting on. And we're just going to make a band all the way across this, like that. Now we're just going to keep adding white to that color. Make another plop of white right next to it, and just blend up a lighter color. Added a little bit of Galkyd medium to it. And you get a lighter color. Then we just plop down that next color right by our first color, using that same crisscross motion. Now you can already see some areas I've got my brush, I've wiped off a lot of the paint that was on my brush, and we can see these little edges where the two different colors are. I want you to just kind of drag your brush lightly over that edge. Just lightly blend it out. Watch it go away. If you've got a large watercolor brush like this, the edge should be a little bit springy. I got this at Michael's in the US. It's a Master's Touch Oval Mop is what it's called. But just look for a brush that's a little bit springy like that. You gotta make sure it's really, really dry. Mine's still a little bit wet because I just cleaned it off. So I'm gonna make sure it's really, really dry. And you just lightly are gonna use this brush to further knock down that edge and make it a little bit smoother of a gradient. Let's watch this. Just barely going over that surface. We're just gonna come back with basically pure white with a little bit of Galkyd medium in it. And we're gonna go and just make a white line right here at the bottom. Try to keep this one pretty pure. Don't blend it yet until you get all the way across. Otherwise you're gonna infect that nice white. And then we're gonna do the same thing to this edge as well. So this is our horizon line now. And we're just gonna drag half and half across. Come back with our large brush. So I've got a really subtle blend here, and I just wanted to show you guys something because when the paint's like this, it's pretty, you can work with it, and it's pretty malleable in a lot of ways. And I kind of want to exaggerate it just for the camera, because the camera can't really pick up these subtle gradations. See, this is why painting is better. But I'm just getting some blue on my brush, and I'm going over that top blue again, just to really accentuate this blend for the camera. We can still go back in on top of it. We can even go really dark. You're going to be blending it out anyway. You can go really pretty dark on top of there. And you can blend it out after the fact as well. So if you want a more extreme gradient, you can always add blue later. Stay tuned for the next lesson. We're going to be putting some nice big fluffy clouds on top of this and learning all about hard edges and soft edges. So make sure to hit the subscribe button or the bell to keep up with these new videos as they come. The first theme is simply oil painting basics. We're going to knock that one out, and then we're going to start getting into different themes every week. Look forward to painting with y'all. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know what you want to see more of. I appreciate everybody watching. Until next time.